meet up and talk before she had went.
I guess I still don't understand. You fought with your mother. You stood up to your mother.
Okay.
Why did you have to call 911? If nothing happened, it was just an argument.
Because she was telling me that she was going to take my kids to CPS if I did not call 911.
Did law enforcement come to your sister's residence?
Yes.
Now she lives on the south side, right?
Yes.
Did you talk with an officer that night?
Yes.
What did you tell him?
That Justin and I had gotten into an argument and that he had covered my mouth to make me quit yelling.
What did you tell him about injuries?
Just that when he had covered my mouth, like the inside of my mouth was cut up.
What did you tell him about how you felt?
I don't know. I don't recall what I said or how I felt.
Did you allow him to take pictures?
Yes. Yes.
And in fact, your kids came back from the fair with their cousins?
Yes.
How did you feel the next day?
I have a lot of emotions.
Okay, we'll start then. Describe the emotions.
I don't know. I was angry with the situation. I was sad about the situation. Devastated about the situation just because it's not how I wanted things to be.
Scared about potential outcomes now?
Yeah.
Let's talk about physically. How did you feel that next day?
Drained.
How about injuries?
I guess I was a little sore from wriggling away or whatnot, but
Did you tell anybody that next day about the soreness, how you felt physically?
I had just told my mom that I was a little sore.
How about your sister?
I don't know. She might have been in the room. I don't.
And over the next days, how were you feeling physically? Started physically this time.
Just the same. Just sore.
Did you tell anybody?
Just my mom.
How'd your voice work over the next couple of days?
My voice was. It was a little scratched from yelling.
You've yelled before, right? Just, generally in life. Does it always get scratched from yelling?
Yeah.
When you went for that walk, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Were you worried about what you were wearing?
Just for the fact that I had socks on and no shoes, but that's the.
And I'm just looking through my notes to make sure that we can get this done and then we can leave, okay? Did you ever tell anybody you felt you were going to die? About being able to breathe?
Just for the short minute that I moved away and his hand slipped above my, you know, kind of on my mouth and my nose, but that was, I mean, I got away shortly after that and I just left the house.
Did you make him put his hand on your mouth?
No, well, no, besides yelling, I guess.
Have you guys ever yelled in your relationship?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Is this the normal way to get the argument to stop?
No.
Besides the Social Security, and I'm trying not to dig that up, I apologize having to do that. Given the living situations and the fact that you were able to get some money for your tragic loss, were you employed at this time?
I believe, no, I don't think I was. I was in between
Okay.
working.
How about Justin?
Yes.
What was he doing?
Construction?
Was he getting paid regularly?
Yes.
Was it full-time work?
Yes.
Did you visit with anybody before trial about your testimony?
No.
Did you visit with Mr. Tomasich this last week?
Yeah, just briefly.
What did you guys talk about?
Just that I was gonna be subpoenaed to come.
Now, it's important to understand if you omit something here, when I'm asking you, he's got an obligation to come forward. So think about everything.
Yeah.
That's it? That's the only thing you talked about?
Just that I was gonna be subpoenaed and just kind of how court was gonna go because I've never been in this
Oh.
situation.
Okay.
And I never had been reached out by anybody else.
Why is it you called him at 10:05 this morning?
To let him know that I was subpoenaed.
Why did he need to know? Why did you need to let him know?
Because he just had asked it if I was subpoenaed to let him know.
Did you have your cell phone with you when you went into your sister's house?
Yes.
And I'm going to take us to the time frame when, right about the time that law enforcement showed up, Officer Romero.
Okay.
Dustin tried to reach you during this time period? By phone?
I believe so.
Did you answer?
No,
Why not?
because I was just trying to alleviate the situation and just let it be.
Now, he called you about 100 times, didn't he?
I don't know exactly how many times it was, but he called quite a few.
My statement, there's probably an accurate number, though, isn't it? About 100?
Yeah, I don't know how many, yeah. I mean, he called quite a few times, yes.
Do you think that helped alleviate the situation?
Him calling me?
You
Or
not
me
answering 100 phone calls?
Yeah.
Do you suspect maybe he was a little mad at that point?
I'm pretty sure he was upset. I was still upset too, because we both were.
Did you fear for your life?
No,
Did you tell anybody that you feared for your life?
no.
No, I'm just doing a double check here. apply for an order of protection
Yes,
based on an argument?
based on CPS.
Was the order of protection against CPS?
No, CPS had me put the order of protection on Dustin. It was part of the in-home treatment plan for me to have the kids.
I don't have anything further, Your Honor.
Ms. Curtis, may I call you Jenna?
Yes,
This happened in August, correct?
yes,
Isn't it true that during the 5 months since this incident, since this summer, you never once been contacted by victims' witness advocates?
yes,
Did they ever even try?
no,
Has this prosecutor ever, during 5 months, tried to get your side of the story?
no,
When I called you, did you tell me that?
yes,
So everything comes from your mother and your sister.
yes.
Okay, we'll go back. You indicated that you have no desire to, if I understood you correctly, to have any romantic relationship with Dustin. Is that correct, more or less?
Yes.
Can you tell us why that is?
I just feel like we will do better if we are capable of co-parenting.
Is he a good dad?
Yes,
I want to talk about that for a minute. Prosecutor mentioned that he had custody of your daughter, Isley.
yes,
When he filed the paperwork to get that custody, did you oppose that?
no.
Why not?
We kind of, between the two of us, had a mutual agreement, and so I just never went and fought it.
Did that upset your mother and your sister?
Yes,
They thought you should have tried to get custody of Isley?
yes,
They don't like Dustin very much, do they?
no,
When we spoke on the phone, did I tell you to tell the truth?
yes,
Have you done that today?
yes.
Now, you were assaulted by Dustin, correct?
I feel so, yes,
Okay. And your breathing was cut off at some point, was it not?
yes,
But you don't think that was his intent?
Objection, invades the province of the jury.
Mr. Thomas?
I'll withdraw the question.
All right.
So all you really know is that he put his hand over your mouth
Yes,
and that you were yelling.
yes,
As we sit here today, are you afraid of Dustin?
no,
Did you go to the order of protection hearing
yes,
after, and who was that in front? Was that in front of Judge Fagg?
yes.
What instructions did Judge Fagg give you to, where the kids were concerned?
That our contact could be due to Isley, and we just need to figure out how to co-parent and move forward with our lives and be the best parents we can for our daughter.
Did he give you permission to have contact for purposes of talking about Isley?
Yes,
Is Isley, does Dustin bring Isley over to you on occasion?
for my visits through CPS, yes,
Okay. And Dustin has developed a relationship with your two boys, not a your relationship, is that correct?
yes,
How would you describe that relationship?
that's been good.
Okay. There was a visitation a week from Monday.
Yes,
How did that go?
really good.
How did the boys act towards Dustin?
They ran up and gave him a hug and said hi. It's the first time they've seen him since all of this has happened.
Now, in spite of what the prosecutor said in his opening statement, he testified that you weren't frantic and didn't run around telling people that someone was trying to kill you, correct?
No.
Okay. Is it fair to say, though, that you were upset, as anybody would be?
Yes.
Did you cry some?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember making the 911 call?
Yes.
Do you think were you frantic or upset when you made the 911 call?
No.
So I'm a little confused. So after this happened, you didn't run from the house screaming in terror and then run away. You actually came back to the house several times. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, because I initially left just to alleviate the situation and try to get things to calm down, and I had left my phone in the house, so I had to go back to the house to get my phone so I could call just to go somewhere else.
Now, when Dustin grabbed you, when you guys were struggling, isn't it fact that he did leave some bruises on your arms?
Yes.
And the police officers took pictures of those?
Yes.
Okay. There's another detail that I want to inquire about. You just testified that on the night in question that you didn't let Dustin use your phone. That means he didn't send messages, threatening text messages to your mother?
No. I was the only one that talked to my mother that night.
So did you send her some stern text messages?
Most likely, yes. I'm pretty sure it was me, because I was not happy that that the kids were there and she was taking care of my kids at that point anyway.
So if your mom says Dustin took your phone, she's guessing?
Yeah.
How long do you think the duration was of your breath being cut off?
I don't know how long. It felt like forever, but probably like a minute, if that.
Okay. And how long after this incident did you make the 911 call?
Probably like an hour later.
Okay. And in the meantime, had you already talked to your mom and your sister, or just your mom, or?
Yeah, my mom and my sister, because they were both at my sister's house.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce into evidence the 911 recording. The problem that I have, my immediate problem, would be authentication. We could have a short recess.
Oh, Your Honor, I'll just simulate, that's fine.
We would like to play that.
Sorry for the delay, Your Honor. We just need to get into this.
We need the little USB chip with the password on it.
I do.
Give me one.
Yep. So, would it be fair to say, Jenna, that you're not offering false testimony because you still hope for a romantic relationship with Dustin?
Absolutely not.
And as we sit here today, are you offering your testimony because you're frightened of it?
No.
Okay. During the 5 years that you were together, was physical fighting something that occurred regularly, or was this exception?
This was an exception. I mean, every relationship has their arguing and stuff, but it was never like that until this time.
Okay. Can you tell the jury where you're at with CPS and the children, what proactive what steps you've taken, what
Objection
they're-
of relevance, Your Honor.
And I guess I'm a little bit concerned about, CBS confidentiality cases, but what is your response to the objection?
Your Honor, the prosecution has painted a situation where the children, according to him, are somehow hostile, and hostile towards Mr. Diineen, and possibly hostile, towards their own mother in some circumstances. I'd like to dispel that notion if I could.
I think that you can ask her the questions that pertain to this case. I think that the work that she has indicated this family is doing is not part of this case.
Very well, Your Honor.
One moment, Your Honor, we're still just getting through this issue of security on the computer.
Your Honor, our medium for playing the 911 call doesn't seem to be responding, so.
Would you like to take a break and see if you can work on that? I know that that's the point that you are.
Yes, Your Honor, we would ask for a short recess.
So, what would be a recess? We'll try 15 minutes. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, remember the admonition you were provided right before. that you have found a computer that can play the 911 call?
Your Honor, the state's going to allow defense to use this.
All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry, can this be raised? You can't hear this. Let us turn the fans off.
I think we may have got it, Your Honor. We will start over.
Thank you.
August 14, 2017, 11 hours, 59 minutes, and 27 seconds p.m.
Alecia Dee Sorry, I need to call and make a report. Okay, what kind of report? There's a assault abuse. Okay, what address did this happen at? It happened at 1644 Shelby, apartment number 1. Okay, what's the phone number you're calling me from? 351-2098. I'm at my sister's now. I'm like gone and stayed from there. Okay, what address are you at right now? 4620 Stone Avenue, Stone Street. Okay, hang on one moment here. Okay. What exactly happened? We just kind of were arguing a little bit, and then I simmered down a little bit. I was laying down. He came in. I would call my mom, and so he like put his hands over my mouth, and I couldn't breathe. Okay. Is this a boyfriend or a husband? It's a boyfriend. Okay. And how long ago did this happen? Probably about an hour ago. Okay, hang on one moment. Hang on one moment.
August 15, 2017, 12 hours, 1 minute, and 17 seconds p.m.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. What is his name? Justin Diineen. Okay, and spell his last name, please. Dineen. Okay. Do you think he's in the area of 4620 Stone right now, or is he still at Kelby Drive? I don't know where he's at. Okay. And what's your name? Jenna. J-E-N-N-A? Just one N. Just one N? Okay. And you say your last name Curtis? Yes, C-U-R-T-I-S. Okay. All right. After the report starts, we'll have an officer make contact with you at the Stone Street address as soon as we have it available, okay? Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Steve. Jenna, do you recall making that phone call?
Yes.
Did I hear you correctly earlier stated it was approximately 1 hour after the incident?
Yeah.
When you talked to your mom and your sister, were you about the same, or were you more upset, or?
I was the same. I had been crying just because of the whole situation, but I was the same.
Were you ever frantic or screaming?
No, that's exactly how it was the whole time.
Were you ever in fear for your life?
No.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Lindweber, any follow-up?
No, no.
We ask the witness be excused.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You may be excused. And you are admonished not to discuss what has occurred in the courtroom here with any other witnesses. Thank you.
Ms. Bargus, could you please state your name and then spell your last name for the court recorder and those taking notes here?
Jennifer L. Bargus, B-A-R-C-U-S.
Are you a resident here at Yellowstone County?
I am,
And are you employed by DPHHS Child and Family Services?
yes.
Do you mind if I use the old acronym since I'm old, DFS?
fine, that's fine.
Ms. Bargus, did you speak with Jenna Curtis on August 16th, 2017?
I did.
Did you make observations of her on August 16th, 2017?
I did.
Did she make any disclosure with respect to the relationship with Justin Diineen?
She did.
And in your conversation, did you learn that this was a multi-year relationship?
I did. I learned that they were been involved or been knowing each other for approximately 4 years.
Ms. Curtis just finished testifying. If she, based on your conversation, if she testified today that violence or physical altercations were an exception, specifically one on August 14th, 2017, is that consistent with what she told you?
No.
How did she portray the relationship over those 4 years to you?
A lot of domestic violence, physical aggression in the relationship, and then also Justin Diineen displaying mean behaviors towards her.
And did she cite examples of that aggression as far back as January 2017, or not as far back, but as recent as January 2017?
Yes.
If Jenna Curtis testified today that she never reported or felt that Justin Diineen was trying to kill her by suffocating, is that consistent with what she told you? It happened on August 14th, 2017?
No.
What did she tell you?
She indicated and stated to me that Justin Diineen, do you want me to explain what she told me?
What did she tell you?
Okay.
That's inconsistent with the description I just gave.
Basically, she said that her and Justin got in an argument, verbal argument. It escalated. Justin became physical aggressive towards her. Justin grabbed Jenna, used one hand to cover her mouth and nose. Jenna stated that she felt Justin was trying to kill her by attempting to suffocate her. Justin allegedly threw Jenna on the bed face first, forced his knee on the back of her neck, and shoved his open hand to
Face,
cover.
just a minute.
Sorry, hon.
Face first.
Face first, and forced his knee on the back of her neck and shoved his open hand to cover her mouth and nose again.
If Jenna Curtis testified today that after that was just an argument, that she walked out, just an argument in which she covered her mouth to stop her from yelling, is that consistent with what she described to you?
No.
If Jenna Curtis testified today that she then just walked out, back in, and then left, walking, is that consistent with what she told you?
No.
What did she tell you?
Basically that she was residing in the home, she was on the phone with her mom, they got into the physical altercation. She eventually fought back and got away from Justin. She left the apartment, called her mother, and also Billings Police Department.
Did she, when you were talking with her, did she portray this as fleeing the apartment?
That I do not remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You don't know one way or the other?
All I know is that she just left the apartment, called Billings Police Department, and then ended up back at her sister Priscilla's house.
Did you make observations of her arm?
I did.
What did you observe on her arm?
I observed appeared multiple bruises, handprint size on both Jenna's upper arms.
How long have you been with the department?
Almost 3 years.
And what's your degree background?
I'm a physical education minor in coaching.
Does the department provide regular training?
Yes.
Does it provide training in investigations as well?
Yes.
Do you have any bone in this case whatsoever? You care?
No.
In fact, actually, I'm going to rephrase this next one. Based on your training and experience, the handprint imprints that you saw, were those consistent with what her explanation, the violent explanation that she gave you?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
Mr. Thompson or Mr. Becker?
No, it will be Mr. Thompson.
Okay.
No questions.
And the cause now issue, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Alecia, could you please state your name and then spell it for a court reporter and the jurors taking notes?
Alecia Dee Smith, ALECIA DEESMITH.
Ms. Smith, you don't reside here in Yellowstone County.
I do not.
Okay. Where is it you reside?
I reside in Rosebud County,
And in particular, what town?
Forsyth, Montana.
How long have you lived there?
I have lived there off and on, but this last time, probably, 12 years, 13 years?
What is it you do there?
I retired as a dental assistant, and I am now invested in my husband's business. I run a restaurant, bar, and casino.
Well, you started to describe some family there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your family, who they are?
My family is, are you looking for just my children or where I kind of came from?
Good point. Let's get specific. Who's in your household first?
Nobody is in my household anymore, but because they are all grown and out of the house.
So just you and your husband?
Just me and my husband, yes. Richard Smith.
Tell us about your adult children.
My adult children, I will start first with Priscilla Ector, and she lives here in Yellowstone County.
How old is she?
Priscilla is 32.
And then do you have a few other children?
Yes, I have my daughter Jenna.
How old is Jenna?
Curtis. Jenna is 31.
And that's not it for all the children?
No. And then I have a son, and Jenna resides here in Yellowstone County. And then I have a son, Chance Donald Anderson,
How old is Chance?
and Chance is 30. And he resides here in Yellowstone County. And then I have a daughter, Stevie Curtis,
And how old is Steve?
and Stevie is 24. And she resides in Rosebud County, Colstrip, Montana.
Were you involved in raising your children?
Yes, very much so.
Did you move around a little bit as you were raising them?
I did. I've been a dental assistant for 30 years, so I kind of went from Forsyth when I was 19, and then went in 6 years there, and then did some in Williston, North Dakota for about 8 months, and then moved to Kalispell, Montana.
Did you work I take it you worked your way back this direction?
And then I worked my way back to Billings, and that's where I finished raising the 4 children.
For the most part, we're going to focus our attention on Jenna and to a degree Priscilla, okay?
Okay.
Where did Jenna live? What house was she living in as she grew up?
Jenna lived in Kalispell, and when she was littler, but for actual schooling, Billings, Montana.
And same question for Priscilla, if they're about the same age, is that about the same?
Yes. They started out at the Trinity Lutheran School when I first moved here, and then went into the public school.
As Jenna finished high school,
She has.
no, I'm sorry, as she was
Oh.
finishing high school, was there a point that she lived with other members of your family?
Yes, she had lived with Steve Curtis for about, 6 months?
Specifically, finishing up school and starting off her adult life? Where was she?
Finishing school was in Haver. She finished school early. She had enough credits there. And graduated from Haver, Montana.
And so after she graduated, perhaps I'll phrase it a lot better.
Okay.
After she graduated, was there family that she lived with outside of you?
Yes.
And who was that?
After she graduated,
Yes.
she did not live with anybody outside of graduation. She was on her own.
Did she live with an aunt and uncle at some point?
She did, and that's when she finished high school in Haver.
So once she was out on her own, what was she doing generally?
Jenna was just doing her own thing, just like grabbing jobs here and there, and was involved in drug use.
Not real stable?
No.
Did you try to help give her some stability?
I did.
And specifically, what was it that you did to help her regarding getting employment stability?
Okay, so what I did is I was working for Dr. Young Powers in Forsyth. I was living there in Haviland. And she come in to learn dentistry.
So you got her to move to Forsyth?
Yes, I got her to move to Forsyth from Haver after she had graduated high school. And then she was with us for a year there at Dr. Young Powers, the dentist office.
Did she stay in Forsyth for a little bit?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. We're way past foundation here. I'm not sure if this is relevant.
Mr. Lindweber?
Your Honor, I think the state's totally entitled to paint the picture of what was going on. We're about to get to her prior relationship, which is very specific to this witness's testimony.
I'll give you a little bit of latitude, but let's get there.
As she lived in Forsyth, did she meet somebody? Actually, I'll rephrase that. Are you aware of a couple grandchildren
Yes,
that she has?
I have two grandboys, Brayden and Caden. Coates,
Who was their father?
Ryan Coates.
Did she meet Ryan while in Forsyth?
Yes, she did.
Did you understand when I said the question about the relationship is pertinent to your observations of what happened on August 14th?
Yes,
Describe that relationship with Ryan. Was it abusive?
yes, it was abusive.
Are you aware of whether or not he's deceased?
He is deceased.
Can you briefly explain the circumstances of how he died so that we can get to the connect that?
Right. Ryan was quite an extremist. He did drugs as well. And through the process of the grandchildren, Brayden and Caden, and them coming into life, they were little. And he just couldn't grab hold. He worked at the mine in Wyoming.
Your Honor, I'm going to renew my objection.
Sustained.
I want to, and I'll rephrase this. I want to focus on what happened that caused his death.
He had him
Well,
and Jennifer.
first of all, I guess I'd like to know the relevance.
Your
Let's
Honor.
get to the relevance.
Okay, I'll ask, I'm going to ask a preview
Okay.
question.
Okay, so you're withdrawing that question?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Skipping ahead just momentarily to August 14th.
Okay,
Did you make observations of Jenna,
yes,
specifically of how you viewed her fear?
yes.
Did you make any comparisons to prior instances in which she had fear?
Not like,
Did you make, not how, did you do a comparison in your head of the fear she expressed on August 14th compared to the fear that she expressed with respect to Ryan Coates?
no, she did
Your
not.
Honor, I know that she's the mother and should be given deference, but she's going to speculate on somebody else's mental state.
Your Honor, no, I think I'm asking for her observation of what she believed.
Jenna had
Okay,
never,
excuse me. I feel like I need to explain the way that this works a little bit too, because the court reporter's trying to take everything down. If there's an objection, they state the rule and the response, and then the court says either go ahead, meaning it's overruled, or sustained. Whenever an objection happens, I need you to stop speaking so that the attorneys can make the record, okay? All right.
Your Honor, and what I'm getting at is, I think she can certainly describe the degree of her observation of what she viewed as fear. And to give a scale, she wants to do that compared to line codes.
Observation within a relevant time to this incident, the scale regarding the deceased husband.
So I'll just phrase it more generically then, okay?
Okay.
Have you seen her scared before?
Yes, I've seen her frightened.
After she was widowed, well, what year was she widowed? Approximately 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Was there a point then that you became aware that she was in a relationship with Justin Diineen?
Yes.
Do you remember approximately what year that was?
That was 4 years ago in May.
Do you remember the circumstances?
It was about partying.
Was it her birthday?
Yes, it was a birthday. And it came as a birthday. She was living in Missoula, and she came down here for her birthday.
And is it your understanding at that point that's when the relationship started?
Yes, it did.
I want to take you to August 14th, 2017, okay?
Okay.
You recall that day?
I do.
During the daytime, did you see Braden and Katie?
Yes, I did.
How did that come about?
It was actually the day before that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, because on August 13th was their little cousin's third year birthday, and we were traveling to Colstrip, and I had not been in contact with Jenna since probably April, and the boys had just gotten back from California to see their grandpa. And so I had not been in contact.
Did the boys come to see you?
They did. They actually called.
Did they bike down to see you?
Yep,
Did you talk with them?
I did. And they wanted to go to Costa
Oh,
Rica.
and without, let's just have you just focus on my question, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Without going into the details, is it safe to say that they told you something that alarmed you?
Yes. I asked them how they.
I just want you to focus on the question, okay?
I need you to just answer his questions, okay? No, that's okay.
Is it safe to say that as a result of talking with them, you decided you were going to contact DFS?
Yes,
Were you going to allow those children to go back
absolutely.
to Jenna and Dustin?
I was.
Were you in Forsyth at this point?
I was in Forsyth.
Once you made that decision, did you stay in Forsyth that
I
day?
did not.
What did you decide to do?
I decided to contact CPS and open a case.
Well, where did you go?
And then I would come into Billings with to Priscilla's house on 4620 Stone Street to give it the hours that before I could meet a CPS agent.
Did you have a phone call after you got to Billings with Jenna?
I did.
How did that come about?
She had contacted the other grandma who lives in Dearest, Ryan Coates. And she said that,
Well, I don't want to focus on
Okay.
what they said, I just kind of want to get the context.
right.
So did she contact you
So
then?
she contacted me, yes. She contacted me to find out where the boys were.
Is it safe to say she wanted the boys back?
Yes.
How did you respond to that?
I said, we've got concerns, and the boys did not want to come back home.
And specifically then, were you going to return the boys that night?
I was not.
Did you tell her that you had come down to Billings?
I did not.
Why didn't you tell her you had already come down to Billings?
I had not told her I was in Billings at that point. The boys were in Colstrip.
Why is it that you didn't want her to know, Jenna to know, that you were in Billings?
For the safety of my grandsons.
Did Jenna eventually agree that you would have the boys for the night?
Yes.
Was she reluctant?
No.
Did the two of you make any decision about further discussion at a later time?
Yes, in the AM. She was going to call me in the AM.
So how many calls did you have at that point with Jenna?
I had had 2.
And after that second call, was it
was
your understanding that was going to be it for the night? After the agreement, that there'd be some more discussion in the morning, did you start to, what happened with respect to your phone and Jenna's phone number on it?
I had gotten texts.
Any phone calls that you ignored?
No,
Text messages?
text messages.
Now, did they appear to come from Jenna's phone?
They did not. Well, they came from Jenna's phone. Yes.
Based on your experience, did you believe them to be from Jenna?
No, I did not.
After, did you respond to those texts?
I did, no, I did not respond to the text. The last one was the call that we had conversation with. But no, I did not because I knew it wasn't coming from her.
Did the text messages stop for a little bit?
For a little bit.
What happened about 5 minutes later?
I had gotten a call from Jenna, my daughter, and,
Okay. And I'm going to walk you through this.
okay.
When you got that call, generally what could you hear in the background?
Panic, fear for her life.
Could you hear anything that gave the suggestion of whether she was indoors or outdoors?
She was outdoors at that time
How could you tell that?
because she was running.
Did you hear anything in the environment?
I couldn't, she just was panicking and said, he's trying to find me.
I'm going to object to your statement on it.
Mr. Lindler?
Well, actually, I'm going to ask that she just follow my questions. I'll probably get to that. So.
Okay, so you're going to withdraw the question?
Actually, that answer should just be straight. I think she might be on it.
All right. So the jury is instructed that the question that was asked and the beginning of the answer is what you are to consider. The narrative is stricken from the record.
It is, I know it's hard. You understand I'm asking pretty controlled questions?
Yeah.
Just follow them, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. And it's okay if you want to take a minute before you respond after he asks, okay, and think about your answer.
When you heard what sounded to be frantic, did you take any steps with respect to the speakerphone button? Who else was with you?
My daughter, Priscilla.
Does that help jog your memory? Did you do anything regarding the speakerphone?
Yeah, we put her on speaker, yes.
Why did you do that?
Well, I just wanted her to hear the same thing I was hearing, so we could help make a decision.
If your daughter Jenny testified earlier today that she was walking and that she wasn't hysterical, is that consistent with what you observed and what she said to you?
Absolutely.
So let's go through what she had to say to you. But actually, I'm going to go through a few more. If she testified today that she never thought that she was dying, is that consistent with what she told you on this phone call? Was she able to give long, detailed, coherent sentences during this phone call?
Absolutely.
Describe first what you meant by she sounded hysterical.
She sounded hysterical, winded, really high anxiety, and said she thought she was going to die.
Let's have you go through whatever statements that you recall her saying that are inconsistent with what I just described with you.
For the record, I'm going to object to the hearsay, Your Honor.
State's responses, I lay the foundation for a prior inconsistent statement.
I'm going to allow the question, but your last question was to describe it, and she described it with adjectives, not a narrative from her daughter. So,
Do you understand that the judge, she wants to hear the words? Okay.
well, no, I want the jury to hear her testimony. And your last question was, how would you describe the phone call?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And she said hysterical, winded, and high anxiety. And then moved to the next question. So,
And the next question is actually describe the words then that she used that you view as inconsistent. Do you recall the words I said? Asked you about whether
excuse me,
it's
that you view as inconsistent with what?
with what she just testified to about thought dying, that she couldn't breathe. If she testified earlier that she didn't say anything about she thought she was dying, is that consistent with what she said to you?